Have you been struggling with constipation more often as you've gotten older? Do you find yourself blaming it on your diet, lack of fiber, or simply getting old? While occasional constipation is common, persistent or unexplained constipation after the age of 60 could be much more than just a minor inconvenience. It might be your body's quiet way of alerting you to something deeper, something more serious that shouldn't be ignored. Many people assume that constipation is just about not drinking enough water or not eating enough fruits and vegetables. And while those things do play a role, there's a growing body of research showing that in older adults, constipation can also be a silent warning sign of underlying health conditions, such as thyroid dysfunction, early Parkinson's disease, or even colon cancer. What's more concerning is that these conditions often begin quietly, with constipation being one of the very first symptoms, sometimes years before other signs appear. In today's video, we're going to explore 7 hidden reasons why constipation in seniors could be a sign of something more serious. Whether you're dealing with occasional discomfort or you've been battling it for years, this information could change how you view your digestive health. We'll help you understand when to be concerned, what to look for, and what steps you can take to stay ahead of potential issues before they become dangerous. I know you are a person who likes to watch videos quietly. If you have not liked and subscribed to the channel, now is a good time to do it because you are a kind person. If the video is helpful, press 1. If the video is not good enough or needs improvement, press 2. Thanks everyone. Now let's get started. Number 1. Constipation as a possible sign of hypothyroidism. When Susan, a 69-year-old retired librarian, started feeling more sluggish and constipated than usual, she assumed it was just part of getting older. She tried adding more fiber to her meals, drank extra water, and even walked daily, but nothing changed. What surprised her most wasn't the constipation itself, but how persistent it became. It wasn't until her doctor ran a routine blood test and checked her thyroid function that she discovered the real issue: hypothyroidism. Hypothyroidism, or an underactive thyroid, is a condition in which the thyroid gland doesn't produce enough hormones to meet the body's needs. It's particularly common in older adults, especially women over 60. While most people know hypothyroidism can cause fatigue, weight gain, and sensitivity to cold, fewer realize that one of its earliest and most subtle symptoms can be chronic constipation. Here's why. Thyroid hormones help regulate many processes in the body, including metabolism and the muscular contractions that move food through the digestive tract. When hormone levels drop, everything slows down, including digestion. This leads to sluggish bowel movements, harder stools, and less frequent trips to the bathroom. For seniors, this slowdown can be even more pronounced because digestion naturally becomes less efficient with age. The tricky part is that symptoms of hypothyroidism can be so subtle or gradual that many people don't recognize them right away. Alongside constipation, someone may feel just a bit more tired than usual, have drier skin, or find their hair thinning slightly, but nothing dramatic enough to raise alarm bells. That's why it's often overlooked and attributed to normal aging. But here's the important part. Untreated hypothyroidism can affect your heart, memory, and overall quality of life. That's why noticing and responding to early warning signs like unexplained constipation is so important. The good news? It's easily diagnosed with a simple blood test called TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone. If diagnosed, hypothyroidism can usually be managed effectively with daily medication that replaces the missing hormones. In Susan's case, once she began treatment, her energy improved, her digestion returned to normal, and she felt like herself again, for the first time in months. All of this began with what seemed like a minor symptom: constipation. So if you've been struggling with slow, irregular bowel movements that don't improve with diet or hydration, it may be time to look deeper. Ask your doctor to check your thyroid, especially if you're also experiencing fatigue, dry skin, or feeling colder than usual. Sometimes your body's smallest signals are pointing to something much bigger, and the sooner you listen, the better your chances of staying healthy, balanced, and in control. Number 2, early symptom of Parkinson's disease. When Robert, a 72-year-old former engineer, began noticing that he wasn't having regular bowel movements. He chalked it up to age and diet. He started eating more prunes, drinking more water, and even adding fiber supplements. But despite all those changes, his constipation didn't improve. A few months later, he also noticed a slight tremor in one of his hands, a stiffness in his shoulders, and that his handwriting had gradually become smaller and harder to read. It wasn't until he saw a neurologist that the pieces finally came together. Robert was in the early stages of Parkinson's disease, and his constipation had been one of the first symptoms. Most people think of Parkinson's disease as a condition that affects movement, tremors, rigidity, and balance problems. While that's true, what many don't realize is that digestive changes, particularly constipation, often begin years before the more recognizable motor symptoms appear. In fact, in some people, chronic constipation can show up a full decade before a Parkinson's diagnosis is made. So why does this happen? Parkinson's disease affects the central nervous system, specifically the cells in the brain that produce dopamine. Dopamine plays a key role not just in muscle movement, but also in the autonomic nervous system, which controls the involuntary functions of the body, including how food moves through the digestive tract. When dopamine levels fall, the muscles of the intestines don't contract efficiently, leading to slow or incomplete bowel movements. This condition, called gastrointestinal dysmotility, is especially common in people over 60 with early-stage Parkinson's, even if they haven't yet noticed tremors or stiffness. Constipation related to Parkinson's is often stubborn. It doesn't respond well to dietary changes alone and tends to persist over time. It may also be accompanied by other early signs that people might overlook, such as a loss of smell, sleep disturbances, fatigue, or even subtle changes in mood or facial expression. For seniors and their families, recognizing these patterns can be crucial in identifying the disease early and starting treatment sooner. In Robert's case, getting diagnosed early meant he was able to begin medication that helped manage both his digestive symptoms and his movement. He also started physical therapy and adopted a gentle exercise routine that improved his quality of life significantly. What started out as just constipation turned out to be a key piece of a much larger health puzzle. If you're over 60 and dealing with chronic constipation that doesn't seem to improve, especially if you've also noticed changes in coordination, muscle stiffness, or your handwriting, it's worth talking to your doctor. A neurologist may perform simple motor and cognitive tests to check for early signs of Parkinson's or other neurological issues. It's not about jumping to conclusions, it's about being proactive. Remember, the body often whispers before it shouts. Constipation might not just be about what you ate or didn't eat. In some cases, it's your nervous system trying to get your attention. Don't ignore the signs. Trust your instincts, ask questions, and advocate for your health. Early awareness can lead to earlier support and a better quality of life. Number 3, constipation as a warning sign of colorectal issues. Martha, a 73-year-old woman who prided herself on eating healthy and staying active, was surprised when she began experiencing persistent constipation. At first, she thought it was just a minor inconvenience. Maybe she wasn't drinking enough water, or perhaps she needed more fiber in her meals. She tried adjusting her diet, started taking over-the-counter laxatives occasionally, and added prunes to her breakfast. But something still didn't feel right. Her bowel movements became less frequent, and when they did happen, the stools were thinner, almost like pencil lines. Sometimes she noticed small traces of blood on the toilet paper, which she dismissed as hemorrhoids. It wasn't until her daughter urged her to get a colonoscopy that she discovered the truth. Martha had early-stage colorectal cancer. Thankfully, it was caught in time. Constipation is often brushed off as something harmless, especially in older adults. But after the age of 60, persistent, unexplained constipation can be a red flag for colorectal polyps or even colon cancer. The colon, or large intestine, is responsible for absorbing water and pushing waste out of the body. When a growth like a polyp or tumor forms inside the colon, it can physically narrow the passageway, slowing down or even blocking the normal flow of stool. This often leads to changes in bowel habits, like constipation, narrower stool shape, or alternating between constipation and diarrhea. One of the most concerning things about colorectal cancer is how quietly it can begin. Many people don't experience pain or obvious symptoms at first. Instead, they might notice gradual changes in their bowel routine, slight fatigue, unexplained weight loss, or blood in the stool. Because these signs can be subtle, they're easy to overlook or misinterpret as normal age-related issues. But recognizing them early could mean the difference between a treatable condition and a life-threatening one. The American Cancer Society recommends regular colon screenings starting at age 45. But if you have new digestive symptoms after 60, especially constipation that's different from your usual pattern, you should not delay testing. A colonoscopy may sound intimidating, but it's one of the most effective ways to detect and remove precancerous polyps before they turn into cancer. In Martha's case, the colonoscopy not only confirmed the diagnosis, but also allowed doctors to remove early growths before they became more dangerous. It's important to also be mindful of changes like bloating, abdominal discomfort, or the feeling that your bowel doesn't empty completely. These subtle symptoms, combined with ongoing constipation, deserve a closer look. If you notice blood in your stool, even if you think it's from hemorrhoids, it's still worth bringing to your doctor's attention. Better safe than sorry. Even if cancer isn't the cause, chronic constipation may still signal other issues in the colon, such as diverticulosis or benign strictures. These conditions are common in older adults and can affect quality of life if left unaddressed. Martha's story serves as a powerful reminder that the body often whispers its warnings before it screams them. She thought she was just constipated, but her intuition told her something wasn't quite right. That early action and her willingness to investigate further helped her catch a serious issue before it became a crisis. So if you're over 60 and experiencing new or worsening constipation, especially if it's accompanied by unusual changes in stool shape, blood, fatigue, or weight loss, talk to your doctor. Don't let fear or embarrassment keep you from asking important questions. Your colon may not be something you think about every day, but it plays a vital role in your overall health. Paying attention to its signals could quite literally save your life. Number 4, the impact of medications on constipation in older adults. When Janet, a 71-year-old retired teacher, began noticing that her bowel movements were becoming less frequent and more difficult, she thought it was just a natural part of aging. She had been taking medication for high blood pressure for several years, along with a few other prescriptions. At first, Janet tried to solve the problem by increasing her fiber intake and drinking more water. However, her constipation persisted, and she started to feel more bloated and uncomfortable. It wasn't until a conversation with her pharmacist that she discovered the root of the problem. Some of the medications she was taking could be contributing to her constipation. For many older adults, medications are a common but often overlooked cause of chronic constipation. As we age, it's not uncommon to be prescribed multiple medications for conditions such as high blood pressure, diabetes, arthritis, or depression. While these medications can be incredibly beneficial for managing chronic conditions, they often come with side effects that can disrupt the digestive system. Common offenders include opioid painkillers, certain antidepressants, blood pressure medications, and even iron supplements, all of which can cause the bowels to slow down, leading to constipation. Opioids, for example, reduce gut motility by binding to receptors in the intestines, while some blood pressure medications, such as calcium channel blockers, can also interfere with the normal contraction of the digestive muscles. Similarly, medications like antacids and antihistamines can make constipation worse by altering the body's fluid balance or by drying out the digestive tract. In Janet's case, after discussing her symptoms with her doctor, she learned that her blood pressure medication and the iron supplements she was taking for low iron levels were likely contributing to her ongoing constipation. Janet's doctor adjusted her treatment plan by switching her blood pressure medication to one with fewer gastrointestinal side effects and recommending a different type of iron supplement that was easier on her stomach. Within a few weeks, Janet began to notice an improvement in her digestion. Her bowel movements became more regular, and the bloating she had been experiencing started to subside. If you're over 60 and experiencing chronic constipation, it's important to look at the medications you're taking and discuss the possibility of side effects with your healthcare provider. Don't hesitate to bring up any new or worsening symptoms, even if they seem unrelated to your current health conditions. It's easy to dismiss constipation as an inevitable part of aging, but when it's linked to medication, it can often be managed with the right adjustments. Whether it's changing the medication, adding a stool softener, or incorporating lifestyle changes like more physical activity or fiber-rich foods, there are many ways to address constipation that doesn't involve simply suffering through it. Your doctor can help you find a solution that minimizes the side effects of your medications while still effectively managing your health conditions. The key is to be proactive in recognizing the impact your medications may be having on your digestive health and to seek adjustments before the problem worsens. After all, the right combination of treatment and lifestyle changes can make a world of difference in how you feel every day. Number 5, poor hydration and lack of fiber. But it's not always that simple. When we think about constipation, the first things that often come to mind are dehydration and not getting enough fiber in our diet. For many people, these two factors are certainly contributors to irregular bowel movements. However, as we age, it's important to recognize that constipation may not always be this straightforward, especially when you've already made efforts to drink more water and eat fiber-rich foods. Take Frank, a 68-year-old retiree who has always prided himself on his healthy diet. He eats a lot of vegetables, fruits, and whole grains, and he always tries to drink enough water throughout the day. But for the past several months, Frank noticed that his bowel movements were still infrequent and uncomfortable, despite his efforts. He couldn't understand why his usual habits weren't helping. As it turns out, while hydration and fiber are essential for digestive health, other factors can also play a role in constipation, particularly for older adults. The natural aging process affects the way our digestive system functions. For instance, the muscles of the colon may become weaker and less efficient at moving stool through the intestines. This condition, called colonic motility, becomes slower as we get older, making it more difficult for the body to pass waste, even with a well-balanced diet. Additionally, the gut flora, or bacteria in the intestines, changes with age. Healthy gut bacteria play a crucial role in digestion, and an imbalance can contribute to issues like constipation. Furthermore, some medications that people over 60 commonly take, such as those for high blood pressure, diabetes, or arthritis, can contribute to digestive issues, making constipation more stubborn. It's also important to note that certain lifestyle factors, like a lack of physical activity, can worsen the situation. Older adults may not move around as much as they used to, which can slow down digestion. Physical inactivity is one of the most overlooked causes of constipation in seniors, as it can reduce the natural movement of the intestines. Frank's situation was an eye-opener. Despite his healthy diet and hydration habits, his lack of regular physical activity, he hadn't been walking as much since he retired, was contributing to his constipation. Additionally, he wasn't getting enough healthy fats in his diet, which can also support bowel regularity. After incorporating more movement into his daily routine and adding some healthy fats like olive oil and avocado to his meals, Frank started seeing improvements. He realized that constipation wasn't just about fiber and water. It was about the whole picture: digestion, movement, and balance. If you've been struggling with constipation, despite drinking enough water and eating fiber, consider looking at your physical activity levels and overall lifestyle. Exercise, even gentle activities like walking, stretching, or yoga, can stimulate bowel movements and improve digestion. Additionally, making sure you're getting enough healthy fats and addressing any possible medication side effects can help improve things. If constipation persists, don't hesitate to speak with your doctor to rule out other underlying causes, such as muscle weakness in the intestines or changes in gut bacteria, and to ensure you're managing your health in a holistic way. Constipation in older adults is often more complex than simply not eating enough fiber or drinking enough water, and understanding these nuances can help you find the right solution to feel better. Number 6. Reduced physical activity and muscle weakness. As we age, our muscles naturally begin to lose some strength and elasticity, and this affects not just our legs and arms, but also the muscles that help us digest food. Take Henry, a 75-year-old man who had always been very active. He loved gardening, walking, and even working out a few times a week. However, after a couple of years of dealing with joint pain and feeling less energetic, Henry found himself sitting more and becoming less active. He noticed that his bowel movements, which had once been regular, started to become less frequent and more difficult. He attributed it to aging and tried to ignore it, thinking it would just pass. But over time, his constipation worsened, and it began to interfere with his daily comfort and well-being. As it turns out, physical activity plays a critical role in maintaining regular bowel movements, particularly in older adults. The muscles in the abdominal region and pelvic floor are responsible for pushing waste through the intestines and out of the body. When these muscles become weaker due to lack of exercise, it can slow down digestion and make constipation more common. For seniors who are less active, it can be especially difficult for the intestines to function efficiently. The slowing of the muscles involved in digestion, combined with reduced physical movement, means the waste in the intestines moves more slowly, leading to constipation. Additionally, reduced physical activity can lead to other factors that contribute to constipation. For instance, lack of movement can lower your metabolism and decrease the production of certain digestive enzymes that are essential for breaking down food. It also reduces the blood flow to the intestines, which can hinder the digestion process. In Henry's case, once he started to incorporate light stretching, walking, and gardening back into his routine, he noticed a significant improvement in his bowel function. His muscles became more active, his digestive system started working better, and he felt more energized throughout the day. For seniors experiencing constipation, even small amounts of movement can make a huge difference. Regular low-impact activities like walking, swimming, or yoga can help stimulate the muscles of the digestive tract, making it easier for the body to pass as stool. These activities don't need to be intense. Just getting the body moving for 20 to 30 minutes a day can encourage the natural peristalsis, muscle contractions of the intestines. Additionally, strengthening core and pelvic floor muscles through gentle exercises can provide further relief by improving the efficiency of bowel movements. The important takeaway here is that keeping the body active and moving is essential for maintaining healthy digestion and preventing constipation. If you've been sedentary for a while, or find that you're not moving as much due to pain or other health issues, it's never too late to start. Talk to your doctor about safe exercises you can do to promote better digestion, and consider integrating more movement into your daily routine. Whether it's a short walk after lunch, a gentle stretching routine, or a few minutes of yoga in the morning, these small actions can go a long way in keeping your digestive system functioning well and your body feeling better overall. Number 7, when constipation affects quality of life. For many older adults, constipation goes beyond just being an uncomfortable inconvenience. It can have a significant impact on their overall quality of life. Take the case of Eleanor, a 68-year-old retired nurse who had been struggling with constipation for several months. Initially, she didn't think much of it. She thought it was just part of getting older. She tried drinking more water, eating more fiber-rich foods, and taking over-the-counter laxatives, but nothing seemed to help. As time went on, the discomfort became more persistent, and Eleanor began feeling more and more uncomfortable throughout the day. Her bowel movements were infrequent, and when they did occur, they were difficult and painful. The problem escalated to the point where it affected Eleanor's social life and emotional well-being. She became more withdrawn and self-conscious, avoiding family gatherings and outings with friends because she was worried about the discomfort that could strike at any moment. Even activities she once enjoyed, like taking walks or gardening, became more difficult due to the bloating and stomach cramps she constantly felt. Eleanor's situation was not just a physical issue. It was taking a toll on her mental health as well. Many people don't realize how much chronic constipation can affect one's emotional and psychological state, particularly when it becomes a long-term issue. The discomfort frustration, and embarrassment of dealing with constipation can lead to increased stress, anxiety, and a feeling of helplessness. In Eleanor's case, the constant strain to have a bowel movement or the fear of experiencing discomfort during social activities began to wear on her emotionally. This in turn created a vicious cycle. Stress worsened her constipation, and her constipation led to more anxiety. Additionally, persistent constipation can lead to physical complications such as hemorrhoids, anal fissures, or rectal prolapse, which only add to the discomfort. When people experience these issues, they may feel even more reluctant to discuss their symptoms or seek help, especially if they feel embarrassed or ashamed. But these complications are a sign that the problem is more serious than just an occasional digestive hiccup. Left untreated, they can lead to long-term damage and further compromise your quality of life. Fortunately, Eleanor's story had a turning point. After months of discomfort and frustration, her daughter encouraged her to see a doctor. With the support of her healthcare provider, Eleanor learned that her constipation wasn't something she just had to live with. Her doctor prescribed a combination of treatments, including gentle laxatives, dietary changes, and stress management techniques. Eleanor also started incorporating gentle exercise into her daily routine, which helped stimulate her digestive system and ease the discomfort she had been living with for so long. Within a few weeks, her symptoms began to improve, and she slowly regained her energy and confidence. Most importantly, she felt like she was in control of her body again. The emotional relief Eleanor experienced was just as important as the physical relief. By addressing the root causes of her constipation and finding solutions, she was able to reconnect with her family and friends, resume her daily activities, and feel more comfortable in her own body. She no longer worried about discomfort interrupting her life, and she felt empowered to take better care of herself. If you or someone you know is experiencing chronic constipation, it's important to understand that it's more than just a physical issue. It's something that can deeply affect your emotional and mental well-being. It can impact your self-esteem, your social life, and your overall happiness. Don't let it take over your life. There are ways to manage and improve the situation. Seeking help from a healthcare provider, making adjustments to your diet and lifestyle, and addressing any underlying health conditions can make a world of difference. Chronic constipation is not something you should ignore, and you don't have to face it alone. Take action, talk to your doctor, and advocate for your health. Your digestive health plays a significant role in your overall well-being, and when it's out of balance, it can affect much more than just your bathroom habits. So take steps today to improve your quality of life and regain control. You deserve to feel good, both physically and emotionally. 40. Conclusion. In conclusion, while constipation may seem like a common and harmless issue that comes with age, it can often be a sign of something more serious, especially after the age of 60. As we've seen through the stories of people like Eleanor, Frank, Robert, and others, constipation can be linked to a variety of underlying health conditions such as hypothyroidism, Parkinson's disease, colorectal issues, and even side effects from medications. These conditions can be subtle and develop gradually, which is why it's so important not to dismiss persistent constipation as just a part of getting older. By recognizing the potential signs and seeking medical advice early, you can prevent these conditions from worsening and, in many cases, improve your quality of life. Whether it's adjusting medications, increasing physical activity, improving hydration, or simply discussing your symptoms with a healthcare provider, there are solutions that can help you feel better and take control of your digestive health. Remember, your body is trying to tell you something when it's experiencing persistent issues like constipation. The sooner you listen, the better equipped you will be to make informed decisions about your health. Don't wait for the problem to escalate. Take small steps today to address the issue and improve your well-being. Thank you for watching today's video. I hope this information has helped you understand the importance of recognizing constipation as more than just an inconvenience. If you or a loved one is experiencing similar symptoms, don't hesitate to seek advice from your healthcare provider. Let's take charge of our health together, and don't forget to share your thoughts or experiences in the comments below. Stay healthy and take care of yourself. We really appreciate you spending time with us today. If you found this video helpful, please don't forget to give it a like and hit that subscribe button. It's a simple way to support our work, and it helps more people discover the tips they need to live healthier, happier lives. And if you want to stay up to date, just click the notification bell so you won't miss any of our future videos. See you again soon.